Hello and welcome back to the channel again. I'm Dave and Susie's on the camera. Shoulder's still getting a little bit better until she walked into the wall. Door. Still the same thing, still hurt. This is my green Benelli and it's been a while, maybe 4 or 5 months, and I thought, oh, I'll just give it a start up, see whether she goes, and give it a few kicks, and eventually it went. Then I was readjusting the carburetors and it stopped, so I kicked it again, and the kickstart was not right, so I had a little play around with it, and no, it definitely was, something's gone wrong. So chucked it on the bench, dragged the, if you come around this side, Susie.
Yep.
Get me a little light. So what happened was, it was all sort of wobbly and horrible, and if you look down here, the spring there had broken. The end had broken off just there on that little bit. I'll just get the bit, the offending bit. So this is the kickstart spring here, and that's the bit that's fallen off. Well, it broke off. If it's on there, look.
Yeah.
Right. So that's that on there. So bit of a jiggle and a wiggle and got that back on. I'd got a spare. So what I didn't do, and what I should have done, is got the camera out and started filming, but I didn't. So what I did was took the side casing off, all the bits and bobs to get that cover off, to have a look, find out what it is, and then thought, oh, that might be worth filming. So I went upstairs because Susie was puzzling, and so this is where we are. So this is all back together again now. It's all nice and solid. So what I'm going to do is put the cover back on and start putting it all back together again, and hopefully when it all goes back together the kickstart works and no problems anymore, allegedly. So
you got the oil dripping down.
Yeah,
there.
that don't matter. That don't matter.
Okay.
Yeah. Right, so I always do make one of these, which is a cover, a piece of hardboard, which I make a
It's a template, isn't it?
A template, really, for where all the screws go. So that's there. I always use that one. Saves messing around. So that was clean. Now it's cleaner again.
Now that looks better. Yes.
Yeah, there we go.
You got it.
Yeah. David messing about. Oh, put this little one back. Don't put that one back. All the oil drips out.
Right.
Just nip that. Yep. And we'll put these back.
Yeah, so you know which one goes where.
So that one goes in there.
Yeah.
That one goes in there. Yeah, so that was a bit of a... I've never had one of those break before. And then most of my bikes have never had kickstarts before, so... It's not an uncommon thing to break. But I shall have to buy another one now.
Yeah, you always need a spare.
Always need a spare. As my old sponsor would say, you never know if you're going to need another one. So if you buy spares, always buy 2. That was Bill.
Yep, sadly no longer with us.
No, poor old Bill. So yeah, so we'll get a new one of those ordered, or somebody will have one somewhere, I'm sure.
Chris Smith's probably got half a dozen hanging around.
Probably. I'll check that I haven't got any more here.
Yeah, you've got quite a few Benelli bits, haven't you?
Yeah. But race engines don't have them. So there should be a couple, well, at least one more kicking around somewhere.
It's just laying your paws on it though.
Yeah.
In theory, everything's got its own place, but sometimes you forget where the places are, don't you?
Yeah. Been knocked on my head too many times seeing you.
Nearly there?
Nearly there, yeah. Got one more, couple more to go, then just nip them up.
Yeah.
They don't want to be crazy tight. Get them all in first.
So that's the first time you've had a spring go like that?
Yep. Yeah. Certainly on a Benelli.
How many Benellis have you had?
A few.
Quite a few by the looks of that face.
My first one that I raced, that I had on the road, it died because of the ignition system went on it, and because it was 1975, and the importer for UK was a company in Nottingham, and as Nottingham's not that far away from us, we went over to Nottingham to see whether they could help us out with parts and what have you, and it was about as helpful as a chocolate fire guard. And we sort of said to them, well, what are we going to do? You know, what have you got the equipment to be able to test out and find out what was wrong? Oh, sorry, what was wrong with it? Which bit was wrong with the ignition? And they said, no, not really bothered at all. And so it was like, well, this is stupid. You know, how the hell are you supposed to? You couldn't just go out and buy a whole well, you could go out and buy a whole ignition system for it, but
you have to have a bit of money for that, and you didn't.
Yeah, I didn't really, because I just didn't have it, and I decided that it was probably a good idea to yeah, it's always a good idea to have the same spanner. I'll use one of these. And
so what did you do to get rid of it?
No, we spoke to different people in the UK, and we bought a off-the-shelf ignition system and fitted that, and put the ignition system on it, 2 or 3 kicks and it went, and it was fine. And
so that was just like a generic one?
Yeah, it was just a generic one. I think it was a one called Lucas Rita, I think. I can't really remember. And so we chucked that on, and but it has it. The only thing with it was that it didn't charge the battery.
Oh, so your battery kept going flat?
Yep.
Okay.
Which, yeah, again, wasn't ideal.
No.
So at that stage I thought, well, I'd always fancied having a go at bike racing, so I turned this little 250 Benelli into a race bike. And
that was the beginning.
That was the beginning, yeah. And so I raced that one for quite a while, and it was okay. It liked to seize up.
Did it throw you off?
No, not really.
That's a change.
Yeah, it was all right. I think it was more down to me than the bike. And
well, sounds like you were still learning then.
Yeah.
Well, you're always learning, aren't you?
Yeah, it's all a whole learning experience. So we ran that for quite a long time actually, and Bill, in his ultimate wisdom, decided that it might be a good idea, keep throwing away good money after bad, whether we could do any good by that's better, by getting a better bike, something more more up to date and more proper race bike, rather than a road bike. Because I was racing against 250s and stuff like that, that were like 250 TZs, and on a basically a road bike with these engines are 231 rather than a 250, and we know that this Benelli underneath here is a 250 because
Benelli's everywhere.
Because it was rebored and better pistons and all the rest of it. So Bill sent me off to Oulton Park, which I'd never been to before, to a race school, riding 4-strokes, which I'd never really ridden 4-strokes before. It'd always been 2-strokes, 4-cylinder little Hondas, and at Oulton Park, which I'd never seen before, and it was raining. To be honest, I think I broke 3 of their bikes, blew them up, probably over revving, I don't know. And then after dinner.
That was just before dinner?
Oh yeah, that was before dinner, yeah. Then after dinner, they weren't in the best of condition, but they said, we could go out and it would be like a time session, and it was all right. I put up the fastest lap of the day on a bike that I'd never really ridden before or done anything with, and it was good fun. So Bill decided that it would be a good idea if we bought something a lot better. So we bought a TZ, and the racing began properly from there on in. And
did you ever race the Benelli again up until a few years ago?
I did. We did use it. I used it at the same time as I was messing around with the TZ. So I'd run the 250 and the 350.
You didn't get rid of it then. You carried on.
Oh, I carried on until it was like I was doing better on the TZ than I was on the Benelli, and we thought it was a good idea, probably, to get rid of it.
So did you sell it? Scrap it?
I think I blew it. I think I destroyed the crank on it. And we thought, is it really worth buying a new crank and rebuilding it for something that was not fast enough really at that time? Standard gearbox. They weren't even aluminium barrels, of the old cast barrels, so it was that old. It weighed a ton.
I was going to say that'd be heavy.
But it handled really good, and I could pretty much pass everybody around the corners, but they just used to blow by me down the straight, which was quite frustrating because you tend to then start overriding and then you fall off because you're trying to beat people that are on faster bikes, and it doesn't work. You know, you're far better having a bike that's far too fast for you and blow everybody away down the straights and wobble round the corners until you get quicker. My opinion, anyway. So that's
fixed.
Why, not quite, but
not quite.
Not quite. We need to put some oil back in it.
Oh right, okay.
And we'll put back the original oil because it hadn't done anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my foray into TZs, and it was the TZ350A, and it was one of the early one, and it hadn't had the clutch modification done on it, and what happens is there's 4 dogs on the back of the clutch, and one of them broke off and went into the gearbox. And when you have a lump of metal that's not supposed to be in a gearbox, it jammed all the gears up, and unfortunately it was at the Goose Neck.
Oh, that was when you had your big crash?
Yeah, big crash.
Right.
And it absolutely smashed the 350 completely to bits. It really wrecked it completely, and so we went out and bought a TZ350D.
After your recovery, which took a while?
Yeah, a long time, because I broke my foot quite badly.
But then you found out as you broke your neck as well, didn't you?
Yeah, many years later, I was getting numbness in my hand, and went for a scan, and the doctor said to me, when did you break your neck? No, I never have done. Sure, yeah, definitely have. I thought, well, the only time I really knocked myself out for quite a long period of time was the crash at Cadwell when the gearbox went.
Yeah, because the bike landed on you, didn't it?
It did, bike landed on my head, yeah. Never been the same since.
But luckily it was only something that didn't do anything to your spinal cord.
No, quite very lucky, really.
Because it didn't even get detected, did it, for 30 odd years?
No, I don't think the quality of the X-ray machines then were as good as they are now.
No.
But yeah, it was just one of those things, isn't it? So yeah.
You were very lucky.
Yeah.
Not lucky to have crashed, but lucky to have survived.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it took them how many years to get my ankle sorted out? Oh,
I don't know. That was a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I had how many? That's not right. Let's go through there. I think I've had 3. I had 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 operations on my left ankle. So that's all sorted now. So that's good.
Now it's just your hand that you hurt on the Goose Neck again.
Yes, Goosey Neck got me again. Goosey.
Don't like gooses.
So that's back now. Look, it kicks back. Lovely.
Good.
That's it. Finished.
Lovely.
So easy repair. That's if you got the bits. You can always do a bill and buy some more. So yeah, so I will put this back together again, and yeah, happy days. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Rightio, just brought it outside for the simple reason why, Susie? Because
you don't want to give yourself
monoxide poisoning again.
Yes.
So turn the ignition on to run, and There we go. All running. All finished. Another job done, eh, Susie?
Yeah.
So, thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon when I break something else.